Hello, this is Darren.
And this is Paige.
And this is
Where's the Lemonade?
Where we talk about what happens when life throws you lemons.
Make some lemonade?
Maybe. Some weeks it's lemon squares.
Yeah, some weeks it's just lemons.
Yeah.
On today's episode,
We're going to unpack 2022.
you're using that buzzword, unpack.
I know. Cool.
Good job, babe. We're so trendy.
All right. It's been a long time since we podcasted, and we really apologize for our listeners out there. But we are dedicated. It's a new year. We're dedicated to do it every week this year.
Yes,
We've already missed the first week.
We're so sorry. People have just been,
I've had people
in
ask
crisis mode because Paige and Darren haven't been podcasting.
Well, and you're going to find out why we kind of stopped for a while. It's been a really hectic year.
It has been a hectic year. Should we just dive in and unpack all this stuff?
Well, yeah. First thing to unpack is 4 of our 10 children got engaged in 2022.
It was a busy year for engagements, right?
It was. And 2 of those 4 actually got married.
They did.
3 weeks apart. Thank you, Matthew and Anna and Jake and McKaylee, for making our October as chaotic as it possibly could have been.
It was awesome, though. It was a fabulous October. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was very fun.
It was fun. So let's go. Let's just go through the year. Is that the best way to do this?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's say we kicked off the year with a little birthday celebration for me. My birthday's in January, and Paige took me to Palm Springs, and I went, huh.
Yes, I gave that trip to you for Christmas.
Right.
And I had planned, I'd planned a little trip to Palm Springs. I'd, reserved a couple of shows and you open it up on Christmas and you're like, what, are we old? And I knew you were going to say that. I knew.
Well, that's where old people go to vacation.
But
it's true. Is it true or not? Is it true or not?
Well, actually, I think a lot of old people live there. But I don't know that a lot of old people go there for vacation. Like, we saw a lot of people our age.
Yeah, I guess we did.
But a lot of old people
that means
do live
we're
there.
old.
We don't live there.
Oh, you know what, though? It was a lot of fun. We actually had a lot of fun.
It was actually a really fun place.
It was, yeah. There's lots to do in Palm Springs. Out in the desert, we went on a Jeep tour in the desert.
That was really fun.
And up some slot canyons up there. That was a lot of fun. And we went to a back door. Was it back door? No, VIP.
That sounds really...
All right. It was a VIP. No,
VIP. It was a VIP.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. There we go. That's what
behind the scenes of the zoo in Palm Springs, which was really kind of cool because we had a guide for us to take us around the zoo, and we got to go in other places that people didn't get to go. And we got to feed a giraffe. It was, and we
got to hang out with what were those wallabies? What are those called?
The wallabies, yeah.
Those wallabies?
Yeah.
They're like just jumping all around us. That was really cool. So it was a fun trip. That was when COVID was still a thing, because it's not a thing anymore. Anywho,
it doesn't exist anymore because we're ignoring it.
Don't you remember we went to the first restaurant we went to? They said, "Do you have your vaccination cards?" And we were like, "No." I think we found them on our phone.
They're on our phone, yeah.
Yeah, because we were like, I didn't know that was a thing here. We still had to show. Oh, and we took the gondola.
Yep. We went to the top of whatever that peak is, San Simeon? No,
I don't know. I don't know what
but it was pretty cool because we were down in the desert where it was 80 degrees or so, and just take the gondola up out of Palm Springs, and there was snow on the ground. So we took our snow gear with us and had a snowball fight. It was fun.
It was fun.
All right, so that was January. And then in February, you decided to head off to Sedona.
I did. I did my girls' trip with Jill and Ilene. And then I went straight from that trip to Utah for Zoey's birthday.
Which I missed this year.
Yes, they were upset with you. The kids
I was upset. Well, this is a little problem. Here's a tip to all of you that have grandchildren. Don't go to every grandchild's birthday for the first 5 or 6 years, because if you miss one, you're in trouble.
You get called out.
And I got called out by
Emma.
That I wasn't there for Zoe's 3rd birthday because I've been there for all of her birthdays.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this year we're going to be there because we're kind of we're going there, but not for birthdays. So we're gonna I think we're breaking the cycle this year.
Yeah, we're gonna break. Wow. Oof.
Yeah. We'll see.
But we have to be there for Emma's 8th birthday because she's gonna get baptized.
That's
right. A big deal.
Definitely.
That's your first grandchild. I guess you spoil them.
That's right. And then in February, drum roll,
Paige had surgery.
I had my big surgery, which we've podcasted about this, but this is just a little rundown. But yeah, so I had my part of my colon taken out. That was super fun.
And I got some white hair during the month of February and March.
But you're welcome. I hit our deductible nice and early.
Yes, you did. You hit our medical deductible.
So the rest of the year was just cake. And
it was not cake.
Yeah. So anyway, it wasn't as bad of a recovery as we thought it was going to be. It was actually pretty chill recovery, and it's good now. Right?
It was kind of a chill recovery. It was tough. It was tough for not just you. It was tough for everyone around you too.
Yeah. Because
we were worried about you. And then we went down to Southern California to go see Paige's mom at the end of March. So, and this was right at the very end of when you could travel again. So we kind of had your 8-week recovery, and then we went down to Southern California at the end of March to go see your mom and your sister and Dallin and Alex.
Yep.
So that was a fun. I'm done with recovery type.
Yes, and just a quick little trip. Yep.
So.
And then April, we saw Journey and Toto.
Oh man, that was awesome.
That was with some friends. That was super fun. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. If you get a chance to go see Journey in concert, do it.
Yeah, they're really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun. Toto, one of the lead guys came out with his walker to get on stage.
He literally did. That's not even a joke.
That's not even a joke. And then they sat him at a piano, and he played the piano and sang a couple songs. You know what? They're getting old because we're old. This goes back to Palm Springs. We're old, honey.
Yeah. Not that old. Oh my gosh. Look, I do need to get my hair dyed. I got a little gray coming in, but not that much.
But April was actually a busy month for us too, because Andie and Jacob graduated from BYU, Idaho. So we drove, didn't we?
We did. We drove to Idaho for their graduation.
And there was a big snowstorm. Was there not?
There was a snowstorm. It wasn't huge, but yes, we were driving in snow.
We were driving in snow. So it was a little bit of white knuckle driving for about...
Yeah, there was.
About probably 3 hours of the 12-hour drive up there. And then we had some big plans for Andie and Jacob right after their graduation, for a graduation present. Jacob and I both served church missions in Brazil. So we were brushing up our Portuguese. We wanted to show off to our wives the beautiful country of Brazil. And so the idea was right after graduation, we would come home. We'd get packed. Andie and Jacob would meet us in Houston, I think. We were flying through Houston.
So we left Thursday, drove to Idaho. No, we left Wednesday. Drove to Idaho. Thursday was their graduation.
We drove home Friday.
This is a very quick trip.
Yeah.
When we were driving home Friday in the car,
I started getting sick.
You started feeling sick. And we're like, oh, it's a cold.
We were supposed to leave Monday.
Saturday, you woke up, you were really sick. We decided to test you for COVID because...
Why did we do that?
We did that because at the time...
I couldn't get back into the United States.
Yes, we didn't have to test to go to Brazil, but we had to test to get back into the United States. So we tested. We did 3 or 4 tests because we were like, are we sure?
Surely this test is wrong.
Yes. So that was on Saturday. We were supposed to leave Monday, so that trip was off.
And I called Jacob and Andie on Sunday. They were going to fly from Salt Lake to meet us through San Francisco and then head down. And the plans changed. So they were homeless. They didn't have a place to live. for that week after their graduation because we were going to be in Brazil and then they were going to go back to their new place that they had just gotten a brand new job in Austin, Texas. What a logistics nightmare for them and for us. So yeah, I tested positive for COVID and that canceled the whole trip.
Yep.
And then 3 days later, you tested positive for COVID. I wonder how you got it.
Yep. So we had the most boring. It was a little challenging, that week, spring break, because Sam was off. We had made arrangements for everything. The other kids were with their mom. Sam went to Disney World with his sister because we were supposed to be in Brazil, so we were at home.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer week, but and we were sick, so we were kind of like looking at each other. Are you gonna go get water for us, or can you make some soup for us? Type of thing.
You were a lot sicker than I was. I didn't get it that bad.
But we ended up at the end of that week going out to
Bodega Bay
and doing a small little hike out there to get out of the house and to get into some fresh air. It was really nice.
Don't worry. We weren't inside. We were outside. Never came in close contact with anyone.
Right.
If anyone, we don't want to get any emails about this. We were not spreading COVID. Don't worry.
No, we weren't. And I felt really bad for Andie and Jacob because, I mean, we had bought packages for river cruises and jungle cruises. I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was all planned. It was 100% planned. We'd started packing.
Yeah.
And we'd gone for 2 years without getting COVID.
And that was a major lemon. Oh, it was a horrible lemon.
That was a really bad lemon. Yeah. And then we were supposed to go straight from Brazil back to Utah. We were flying straight to Utah for Julianne's graduation.
That's right.
And so we ended up flying. We flew, right? Did we fly?
Yeah, we flew.
Yeah, from here
to Julianne's graduation, which was 2 weeks after Jacob's.
Yeah. So once again, we didn't have COVID anymore.
Yeah, not contagious anymore.
We weren't contagious. We were fine. So we went back to Utah for Julianne's graduation, which was lovely.
It was lovely. And I felt bad for Jacob and Andie because that was their graduation present. So we went with a trip on a trip with them later on in the year, in November. And then not to Brazil because that was right after I looked at, hey, let's go to Brazil then during Thanksgiving, right after a very contested election. I'm glad we didn't go. There was a little bit of rioting. And now it's pretty chaotic down there. So we're glad that we got to go somewhere else with them. But
I feel bad because Julianne's graduation present was also a trip that we were going to do at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well,
with Julianne, but because Andie is a teacher and she only has so many days off of work, she had the whole week of Thanksgiving off. So we had to bump Julianne's trip a week because Julianne's job was a little more flexible. We had to bump Julianne's trip for Andie and Jacob's trip. So sorry, Julianne, you've been great and very understanding.
Yeah, we'll figure out that trip, Julianne.
Yes, we will.
All right, so that leads us through April. What a chaotic 4 months.
There was a lot going on.
I mean, you had major surgery. We both got COVID, and we were traveling and changing travel plans constantly, it seemed like.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
But then you always have to have something in the works.
What are you talking about?
You have to have a plan. You have to have a trip planned ahead so that you can say, "Oh, I'm looking forward to something."
You know what?
And it could be simple. It could be a simple, "Hey, we're going to go to Mendocino Coast," or
yes. I don't have to. I feel like that makes me sound like some kind of like housewife of Orange County or something. I don't have to.
Housewife of Folsom.
Housewife of Folsom. I do not have to. But you're right. Even if it's just an overnight trip, one night, someplace for you and I to go to. I do like to have something to look forward to.
No, something. It doesn't have to be a big trip.
It does not. But big trips are nice.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
We'd already spent the money on the trip to Brazil, so we had travel credits.
Well, we also had travel credits from other trips that we canceled because of COVID, Iceland, and
I had to use some travel.
Well, that's
credits
right. We had to use. This was from the Iceland cancellation.
Yes, it was.
And we had to use this 7-night stay anywhere.
At a Category 5 hotel anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. We had to use it by the end of June, or we lost it.
Yeah.
Well, we're not dumb. We're not going to lose a 7-night stay. So, like, hello. So
we looked all over the world.
we did for a really good Category 5 Marriott hotel.
Those are hard to find.
Yes, because sometimes a Category 5 is like a courtyard,
Yeah.
depending on the place. And sometimes a Category 5 is really nice. So we found a really nice one in Portugal, and that's how we ended up in Portugal.
And what a lovely trip in Portugal.
was.
I mean, it was, the resort we stayed at was off the beaten path, which was kind of nice. We had our own beach to ourselves. The weather was absolutely wonderful.
Yep.
And the food was incredible. You check out our podcast on Portugal. In fact, we even podcasted from Portugal.
We did. That's right.
So
we sure did.
you
That
could
was a
see
great
me.
trip.
I was all burnt because we went to the beach.
Because your skin's like transparent.
I put sunscreen
It's
on
like a
too.
vampire. Sun hits him and it's like burned immediately. But no. So yes, Portugal was lovely. And then another trip to Utah for Mitchell's first birthday. You can't miss the first birthday. Even though the child's never going to remember their first birthday that we were there.
Oh, but the other kids remember.
yes. So we went.
I got back in the good graces of Emma because I showed up for Mitchell's birthday.
Yes. Yes, you did. So yes, another trip to Utah. And then July,
We stayed home finally.
we stayed home and we had a lot of visitors come to us, which was great. So July was fun. People came and visited, family.
We needed
That was great.
a break from running around.
Yep.
And visiting kids. And
Yep.
so, and then right before school starts in August, we decided to take the 3 youngest kids, which are now not little kids anymore. My goodness, they're huge.
They're all grown up.
Now, one 16-year-old and 2 17-year-olds now.
Yep.
We took them to Alcatraz to drop them off.
They wouldn't keep them.
They wouldn't keep them.
Nope.
No.
So yeah, that was a fun
So-
trip to San Francisco. We went to Alcatraz and Chinatown, and that was fun.
We were there during one of the moon festivals, I think,
That's
which
right.
was kind of fun.
It was fun.
So hanging out in our local area was always good, and it doesn't cost that much to head over to either Old Town Sac or San Francisco. It's
Yep.
kind of fun.
It was very cool. And then let's see, September, I had a girls' trip with some of our daughters. So a couple of our daughter-in-laws weren't there for the trip, but we got to go. We were. It all came about because of Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. My kids growing up, we watched that with Donny Osmond. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Donny
You
is the
didn't
best.
watch it. You obsessed about it. Let's tell the truth.
Yes, and my kids, my daughters especially, have good memories and have it all memorized. And so we saw that it was going into the Tuacahn Theater in St. George. So we decided with our kids that live there in Utah, the girls, we had a little weekend in St. George. We went hiking and
Well, and this was right before the 2 weddings that
Yeah.
we had in October.
yep.
So it was kind of nice because you got to spend some time with your future daughter-in-law a little bit more.
Yep. McKaylee was there, so that was super fun. We had a great time. That was awesome.
So
And then
and
October,
boy, you kids. It was funny because they said, "Well, Dad, we're almost having one in September and one in October, so it's really 2 months." It was 3 weeks apart.
they were 3 weeks apart. But yeah,
So a wonderful trip out to Georgia for
my gosh, it
Matthew and Anna's wedding.
gorgeous.
That was almost a lemonade moment.
Oh yeah, we were worried about the rain.
Because there was a hurricane that came up the Gulf, and the remnants of that hurricane were hovering over Georgia, and we were literally looking at the rain every day. It was an outside wedding. It was a great venue, just this cute old plantation home, just wonderful. But it wasn't big enough for everyone to come inside for the wedding. So we were trying to find other venues. I was calling all over the place to church buildings and Marriotts and convention centers. Everything was booked solid. So
We just prayed.
a lot of praying went on.
And it ended up being a beautiful day. An absolute beautiful day.
Absolutely gorgeous day.
Yep. And then 3 weeks later, we had Jake and McKaylee's wedding here in the Sacramento area. And 2 days before their wedding, once again, an outside wedding at our friend's property in Lincoln. And
Downpour.
rain was expected for their wedding. We're like, seriously?
But That's Mother Nature teasing us here in California.
Yep. And we didn't have a backup. You think we would have learned our lesson, but there was no backup. We were just praying once again, and beautiful day. Like,
so yeah, we could have fretted about it, but we didn't. We said, hey, it's going to be.
We said, if all else fails, we can bring everybody here to our house and.
Yep, eat food. But
yeah, it all worked out great. Both weddings were absolutely lovely, and we got 2 new daughter-in-laws. It was fabulous.
And they're great. They're great women.
Yep, they are.
I love calling them daughter.
Yeah.
And they each bring their own uniqueness to the family, which is wonderful. It's an exciting time.
They are fabulous.
Oh, and then November again.
I love November.
I rarely saw you in November. Why?
Footloose, baby. Now I gotta cut loose. Footloose.
All right, so Sam, our 9th child, right? And the one that's with us 100% of the time, he was Willard in the play Footloose, the musical Footloose at school.
At his high school.
At his high school. And there is one person that made every single performance except for one. Paige.
I went to every single performance. What do you mean?
I thought you missed one.
No, I did not. I went late to one. I was 15 minutes late. I went to every single performance.
Who didn't make it to everyone?
You didn't make it to everyone.
Well, I went to 3.
Yeah. What do you mean? Who didn't make it to everyone?
No, someone made it except for one. Was it Madeline? No, David. David got sick.
No,
he missed the last 2.
He missed the last 2 because he was sick.
Yeah,
he was trying to make it to everyone. Yeah,
and Sam stole the show.
Oh, he did. He was so good.
It was awesome.
He was the comic relief in the play. He had such great stage presence. He was so good.
Check out our YouTube channel. We'll put up some clips of the show up there.
Yeah, he was great.
I was shocked. I was like, that's my little Sam up there.
He was
stealing
awesome.
the crowd. Oh man, he found his calling with that. He loved being on stage. He knew how to work the audience. It was wonderful.
It was great. So yeah, that was the middle of Thanksgiving. And of course, we hadn't seen Sam for a month because he'd been practicing and rehearsing the play. And then
we headed on a wonderful trip, the graduation trip for Andie and Jacobs, to no other than Amsterdam. Now, I said, guys, really, you want to go to Amsterdam in November? Amsterdam and Germany and Brussels. And I said, it's going to be cold and wet. And Paige said, and there's Christmas markets there.
Christmas markets, yes. Which was a trip that we had planned 2 Christmases ago that we had to cancel because of
COVID.
Hate COVID. So I didn't even know when they first said they want, because we said pick your second trip. If we're not going to Brazil, where's your second place you want to go? And Andie really wanted to go to Amsterdam and Germany, and I was like, oh, okay, great. And then I start Googling what should we do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Christmas markets. So
and then once Andie found out there were Christmas markets, there was nothing I could do to convince them to go to Hawaii or Puerto Rico or some warm place.
Nope.
Instead, we got on our rain gear and our...
It wasn't too bad. The weather wasn't too bad. It was chilly a few days and it rained. It didn't rain as much as we thought it was.
We had to bundle up.
Yeah.
We had to bundle up. But Christmas markets, oh my goodness. They know how to do it in Germany. Incredible Christmas markets. So much fun. So we went several places. Amsterdam, Cologne, Germany, Brussels, Belgium, and a couple other small towns, Bruges and Ghent.
Ghent, yeah.
Wonderful trip with them. And we got to spend some time with Andie, our daughter-in-law, who we're continuing to get to know and love even more.
Yep. It was great. And if you are planning on going to Christmas markets in Europe, give us a shout, because they are not all created equal.
No, they are not. In fact, check out our YouTube channel, where you're going to see some travel logs on the Christmas markets. So, and the highlight of it was Feliz Navidad in German. You got to check out that podcast.
That was pretty funny.
All right, December. How can we keep traveling? we had to go watch the grandkids in December and to meet my future son-in-law.
Yes. Yes.
So our sweet little Julianne fell in love and got engaged. Well, he wanted to talk to me. And I said, okay, when we go up and watch the grandkids for, what was that, 3 days or so?
Yeah, 4 days.
I got to spend some time talking to Boyd, who is Julianne's fiance, where he asked me if he could marry my daughter after I talked to him for a while. It was wonderful. He's a great guy. And then we left it at that. And then he calls us up afterwards and says, I want to propose to her on Christmas Day.
Because that was her childhood dream to get proposed to on Christmas Day. So he wanted to surprise her because he had told she was coming home for Christmas. And he had said, I can't go with you and I can't go to my parents' house for Christmas because I have to work. And so he wanted to surprise her. So that was kind of a nightmare, poor guy. He was flying in on Christmas Eve night, and then he was gonna be here only for Christmas Day, surprise her, and then fly back the next day. He was in the middle of that Southwest nightmare.
It wasn't just Southwest the first day, but it turned into a nightmare. So
yeah,
his first flight was canceled on Christmas Eve, and then he called me up and said, well, I'm not going to make it until Christmas Day because we had it all arranged where he was going to do it. And we were going to, get Julianne there for some lame excuse that we made up. And then he called me and said, I got to push the time. I got another flight for Christmas Day, and I'm not going to get in until like 11 or 12. And so we arranged all that. And I hung up the phone and tried to make some arrangements. He called me back 3 minutes later. My Christmas flight was canceled too. He said, I'm getting on a train from Salt Lake City to Folsom, California, to Sacramento.
Yep. He hopped on the train at like midnight and got here at 3 p.m. the next day and came here, showered, changed. And
at 4 p.m. proposed to Julianne.
Yep.
At Temple Hill in Sacramento. It was wonderful. I hid in the bushes. I got some great pictures, which I will post a couple on our Facebook site. You can see those. I was hiding in the bushes taking pictures.
Not creepy at all.
Not creepy at all. And then I hopped out of the bushes and scared Julianne a little bit and then took some real good pictures of them.
And then you left because they wanted to be alone.
I sat on the bench with him for a little bit to talk to him a little bit. No, I left.
He did not.
I ran away. As you can see, it was a crazy 2022.
It was.
And there were a lot of lemons thrown at us, frankly.
Yes. The surgery was probably the biggest lemon. The COVID was the second biggest lemon.
Yeah, we got a little kind of down.
Yeah, we did. But 2 weddings, 4 engagements. Next year we've got 2 weddings. Dallin and Alex are getting married, and Julianne and Boyd are getting married. So we've got...
And they're not a month apart, which is great.
Yes, they're several months apart. But so we're very excited to get more in-laws in our family. 2 son-in-laws. We're very, very excited. We love both of them very much. And
we plan on making a lot of lemonade this year. Hopefully not as many lemons this year. Hopefully this will be a little bit easier year. But we most definitely will make a lot of lemonade.
If you like today's episode,
give us 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, Google.
And head to Facebook and like us.
And check out our blog at where'sthelemonade.org,
where you can leave questions and comments.
But most of all,
go out and make some lemonade.
You betcha, baby.